Artificial intelligence. So basically, artificial intelligence it has multiple things that we need to know before knowing what is an artificial intelligence. This artificial intelligence is a part of data science. It came from the data science. So under data science, we have other things also like artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, time series, generative AI, and agentic AI. This all comes under the data science. Okay, so among them, artificial intelligence is one of the component under data science. So, in order to learn the artificial intelligence, what is the prerequisites that we need in order to learn the artificial intelligence, which is under data science? So there are few things that we need to know. That is one thing majorly is about programming language. Mandatory, we need one programming language to learn artificial intelligence. So which programming language which you are comfortable that you can choose on your own. Here, Python is one of the famous programming language and very easy programming language and very flexible programming language to write the program for artificial intelligence. And after that, we have Julia, R, and Java is also there. But compared with Python, all those other programming languages is very much complex libraries will have. We need to drive and deep dive into that libraries, and we can achieve that using other programming language compared to Python. Python is a pretty much straightforward. You can easily understand, and the libraries are already inbuilt for artificial intelligence. You can reuse those libraries. And there are next point we need to understand. There is a concept called statistics. It's a concept of a programming. This statistics helps us to identify the errors in the data. Okay, that you will come to know in upcoming sessions. And along with that, we need to have the domain knowledge. Let's say in specific area you are working or specific knowledge you already have. So that domain knowledge you need to have. So based on that knowledge, you can implement AI where we can fit AI into that particular domain. We can implement the AI in that particular field. Okay. It's not about banking. You can go some other field, medical or hospitality or any e-commerce or any other field, like even farming. Wherever you have that domain knowledge, you can go and implement that domain knowledge in that particular field. You can implement the AI in that particular field. Okay, so that's the reason we need a domain knowledge of that specific field. And after that, we need to have some visualization tools as well. Let's say you have implemented something, but you need to show that one to the outside world. You need to present that one. So how you can present that one? You can present by using some tools. So those tools are something like Matplotlib, Seaborn, Tableau, and Power BI. These are all the visualization tools that we had. And that's what we have. We need a programming language, we need to have domain knowledge, we need to have visualization tools. Okay, this is a high level prerequisite, but there is other requirements also there that I will tell you. Before that, let us try to understand what is data science. What is data science and how we are going to process that data. Okay, so data science which deals with the data. Okay, you have a data, you need to deal with the data. How you are going to deal with the data? So dealing with the data is nothing but a science. Okay, what is a science? Science, it is a process of dealing, learning in any sector through observation and experiment. Okay, your processing of a detailed learning, okay, of that particular data, and you're doing some experiments on that particular data. Okay, so when you're doing some experiments, you will learn new things, or you can innovate new things. So that's the reason it is called as a science. It's a process of detailed learning in any sector through observation and experiment. Like other fields, like let's say if you take computer, if you are learning about the computer or you are studying about the computer, that's nothing but a computer science. And if you are studying about space, all the space related things, aircrafts or rockets, all these things, if you are learning about the space, then it is nothing but astronomy. And if you are learning about the chemical, what all chemical related, medical related things, if you are learning, so that is nothing but a chemistry. In the same way, if you are studying about the data, you're learning how to do a detailed learning about the data, how to do an experiment on the data. That is nothing but a data science. Okay. So here, artificial intelligence will come under the data science. Okay, so there is it is about data science only. It is a scientific study of data. It is a process of extracting knowledge from the data using the scientific methods. Scientific methods in the sense, like we have different methods. It can be mathematical, it can be statistical formula. It is a scientific study of data to gain knowledge and meaningful insight. Means in detail, in-depth knowledge of that particular data we are going to do. Okay. So it's artificial intelligence is derived from the data science. Okay. So now we have seen what is a data science. Let us understand what is artificial intelligence. What is the artificial intelligence? So the name itself, it is telling what is artificial. Artificial means it's not by nature. It was not it was not a human made. Sorry, artificial means not by nature. It's human made. Okay, so where human has manufactured that one or human has invented that one, that is nothing but an artificial. It's not nature. Nature has not given that. Human has created that one. So that's what artificial. So for example, let's say we can say take like leaves, artificial leaves. So it was prepared by paper or rubber. We are preparing like that. Plastic flowers, like that. Or some people they want to do a either knee replacement or some by mistake, by accident or something, they had lose their lips. So for them, they will do a replacement with artificial legs. Okay. So in the same way, we can create artificial brain as well. So, and artificial brain means not the complete brain. I am saying artificially the intelligence. Intelligence can also be built artificially. So that's the place where artificial intelligence came into the picture. Here you can ask me how the artificial intelligence can be built. Yeah, there is a process that we can do that. We can implement that process and we can build the artificial intelligence. In general, how the human brain will work is, in human brain we'll have neurons, which will store the data or process the data in our human brain. So those neurons can be built artificially. How? That's nothing but a concept called ANN, artificial neural networks. So using that concept, we can build our own intelligence, our own artificial intelligence. Okay. So AI AI intelligence which is created artificially by human. And artificial intelligence is a field of computer science which is used to build intelligence. Okay, you can build you can build the intelligence. So basically what it will do is a machine capable of performing the task that typically require human intelligence. So wherever human is required, that can be replaced with the machine which is trained to do like a human. And it is a process of developing intelligent machines which mimic like human. Okay, it will be like a human being only, but it's not a human being. It's an artificial intelligence or it's a machine. And artificial intelligence refers to intelligence displayed by machines that stimulates the human intelligence. Okay, it will behave like a human, it will act like a human, and it will do the tasks like a human. That's how the artificial intelligence is built. Okay, so if you want to achieve that one, if you want to achieve the artificial intelligence, how we can achieve that? You can achieve that by doing a basic concept is called model. Basic concept called model. So what exactly that model contains? The model contains program plus algorithm. The model that contains program plus algorithm. So here the model is nothing, a program based on the algorithm. A program based on the algorithm. So here you need to understand what is an algorithm. A process or set of rules to be followed in calculations or other problem solving operations, especially by a computer. Okay, so it's a process, and you are giving some number of steps to be followed. So based on that rules, the program will work. The program is designed to do that particular task. Okay, that's the algorithm. Okay, and here here we need to understand the flow, how exactly it is going to work. Putting one diagram here. What is this? This is a model. This is a model. And this is data. This is data. What model contains? Model contains program plus algorithm. Program plus algorithm. Okay, program plus algorithm. So here, what we are trying to do, we are trying to train this data. We are trying to train this data so that it can get in detail about this particular data, and it can understand, it can gain the knowledge about this data. This model, it can get in detail about this particular data. Okay, the basic level, what it is doing is, in artificial intelligence, we are training the data and we are learning that particular data, and we are trying to train the model to do our tasks, to do specific tasks, whichever we want here in this model. Okay, so when we talk about the data, when we are talking about the data, in the data we have different types of data will be there. We have different types of data will be there. So usually the data will be a raw data. Means they cannot give you the processed data. Let's say if you take some image, you are taking some image. Let me take some image. This is in India map. This is an India map. So I want to take this particular image data. I want to take this particular image data. So let's say, let me open this particular file. In this particular file. See, this file contains some data it is having. Here you can see some letters as well. Let's say PHYS, and you are seeing RGB, and you are seeing some other words also here. These are all data. So this data is not processed data. It's a raw data. You cannot understand this data. But we need to make this data need to be understood by AI. We need to make this data need to be understood by AI so that it can do some operations on that particular image. Whatever operation it wants, it can do some. It can identify the particular states or cities or places in that particular image, if we ask. So in order to tell that particular AI model, this data need to be trained. Then only it can understand what is present in this particular image. And we can ask, where is Andhra Pradesh? Where is Karnataka? We can ask. It can tell in which location, in which place it is exactly, in which latitude it is there. All those details it can provide for us. So the data is of different types. It can be a text, it can be an audio, it can be an image. So there can be different types of data, and which requires to get processed and analyzed. Okay? The data need to be processed and analyzed. Then only the model can understand. Okay, so let's say, for example, let's say if you want to eat some food, what you need to do? Let's say you want to eat some rice. What you need to do? You need to go and you need to clean the rice. You need to cook the rice. Then only you can eat the rice. You cannot eat that raw rice directly, right? So in the same way, even the data is also the same thing. We need to train the data, and then only we can consume that data, or then only we can utilize that data. Okay. So here there are different types of data, like a collection of characters will be there, collection of numbers will be there, and we'll have collection of symbols will be there. So there can be different types of data will be available in the market. So we need to take the data and we need to train that data and we can utilize that data. How we can train that data? How we can process that data? By using a model. This model will do that. Before sending to the model itself, we will do some pre-processing here. We will do some pre-processing here. Before sending to the model, we'll do some pre-processing here. Then we'll send to the model. Processing. We'll do some pre-processing before sending to the model. Okay. So in this pre-processing, we will reduce the data. We will reduce the. We will do some tokenization, and we can reduce the, using the tokenization, we can reduce the size of that particular text file or image file, and we can send the data to the model, and we can do a pre-processing of that particular data. Okay, and that model will take the data and it will do a training on that particular data, and it will generate the output for us. Whatever output we require, it will generate. It can be a time series, it can be a graph, it can be the image context, texture, what texture it is there. It can change the texture of the image. So all those things it will do using the AI model. Okay, so this is a high level. This is a high level what is in AI and what is a data science and why, what's a model and what is an algorithm. So this is a high level things. Now let us see what exactly we are going to learn, what all the modules that we are going to learn in this particular course. Okay. For this particular AI, majorly we need one programming language. So in this course, we are going to discuss majorly about the Python. Python, why I choose Python is having the straightforward libraries which we can directly use the libraries in our program and we can utilize that one. So for that, we need basic Python programs we need. And basic in the sense we need to know the syntaxes of the Python, and we need to know how to import the libraries, how to call the functions, how to write the conditions. So those basic things we need in the basic program. It's a pretty straightforward. You can easily learn that one. I can guarantee you that even 10th class or 9th class student also can learn that basic Python programs. Okay, and in that we need to know about the NumPy. NumPy is also one of the Python library which is used to do the processing of the data, pre-processing of the data. We use the NumPy, and we need to know about the Pandas. Pandas is the one where you can go and utilize for reading the CSV files, or you can do some graphs as well, and you can pre-process the data. Images, it will read the images as well. So those things we can learn by using the Pandas. And statistics. Statistics is also one of the things where it can identify the errors in the data and it can tell us. But whereas the NumPy and Pandas, it cannot do those finding the errors in the data. But statistics is one thing. And there is a concept called feature engineering as well. So that you will come to know in upcoming sessions. We are going to learn about the feature engineering in the upcoming sessions. Okay. So this is module 1 about the basic Python program. There is the next concept we learn about deep learning. We'll learn about deep learning. So in this deep learning, you will come to know about ANN. ANN is nothing but artificial neural networks. Okay. So there you will come to know what is ANN, what is an artificial neural networks, you will come to know. And in AI, there is a concept called activation function. where how the neurons work, the same way the artificial neurons also will work. So how they designed that one, how that activation function will work. So those concepts in detail you will learn in the artificial function, activation function. And there is a gradient descent. So that is also one concept where we'll learn about that gradient descent. And optimizers we'll have, and back propagation. And there is a concept called TensorFlow, which is very important. You'll see the TensorFlow in detail about that one. And there is a Keras, that's another library which we use in Python. Using that Keras, you can tune that data, and you can it can train the model, and it will give you the trained data. You can do the training of that. And after that, we have image processing. This will come under the computer vision. So it's a majorly with the images. When you are going to work on images with AI, there you will do this CNN, and there's a computer neural network, and there is a dropout and a batch normalization. These concepts will come when we are doing the image processing under deep learning. Okay, under deep learning, you will learn all these computer neural networks and dropout and batch normalization. Okay. So this is model 2. Okay, module 2, we are going to learn about deep learning. And next, we will learn about module 3, that is NLP. So here in module 2, majorly you will be gaining the knowledge about the image processing, how the image is getting tuned or trained and to the model, and you are going to get the data from that particular image. So you may ask why we are going for the images. Let's say you have a set of images. Let's say you have 100 images, and in those 100 images you want to know which image is female and which image is male. So that set of information, you can get by using this deep learning model. And you are going to learn about NLP, module 3. So here it's a text acquisition and text processing and text normalization and HTML tag vectorization. Basically, this is completely about the text processing. So you will do some processing in that particular text, and you will extract the data in that particular text, and you can do the processing. Not only that, there are web scrapers where you can download the data from the website, which contains the HTML tags, and you can filter that HTML tags and extract the data from that particular data, from that particular extracted HTML tags. So this concept we will get from NLP, where we have the Python libraries. We can use those Python libraries and we can do the text processing. And there is another concept of word to vector and embedding and RNN, LSTM, and GRU. These are all the modules that we use for NLP. And using those NLPs, we can process the text, and we can train the data, and we can use that NLP modules, and we can implement that one. Okay, this is module 3. Next comes after, until here, if you go through this concept until module 3 NLP, you can next go for the real concepts of the AI, that is another generative AI. Under generative AI, you have sequence to sequence model. These are the models, default models will be there. So you can use those models directly. Sequence to sequence model, encoder, decoder, and self-attention, transformers, LLM, large language models, and types of, there are different types of LLMs, that is BERT and GPT, this like ChatGPT, and Hugging Face, LangChain, Llama, and ChatGPT, and Gemini. And there is another things also, the prompt engineering, RAG will be there, and after that you will be learning about agentic AI and LangGraph. Okay, So these are all the modules that we are preparing for this particular course. So here you will understand in detail, everything is practical. I'm going to teach you by hands-on experience, with a hands-on experience. Everything everything I'm going to execute and I'm going to show you. Everything is practical. There is no theoretical concepts here. Everything I am going to show you in the practical scenarios. Okay.